Have you ever heard or do you have any idea about the hog trading industry? Or do you know how does it works? In this video, we're going to share you our experiences of being an hog trader here in Indang, Cavite. Magandang araw, agripreneurs. My name is Emmanuel. Now we are going to present our business entitled Slaughtering and Marketing of Hogs at Public Market, Poblacion 4, Indang, Cavite, an entrepreneurial development project. So kasalukuyan po kami nag-aaral sa Cavite State University Main Campus sa kursong Bachelor of Agriculture Entrepreneurship, major in Animal Production Technology. Together with my group mates, we're going to share with you our great experience of being a hog trader here in Indang, Cavite. So wala nang patumpik-tumpik pa. Let's jump into the content. In the Philippines, pork is preferred choice for many due to its affordability and adaptability, even though there are cheaper options like chicken. However, in recent years, Philippines experienced a decline in pork production due to African swine fever. This led to an increase in pork prices and sudden influx of import pork into our country. Despite the changes faced by our hog farmers due to ASF, pork production in our country is expected to rise from $4 billion and projected to grow by 6.5% from 2020 to 2025, as stated by Bureau of Animal Industry. Most of the local pork supply comes from the backyard farms, presenting an opportunity for Filipino farmers to capitalize on the projected industry growth. However, many farmers lack access to modern farming practices and marketing strategies, hindering their ability to maximize profits. Furthermore, many of them depend on traders for where or to whom they sell their produce. We, as an entrepreneur who conducted a hog trading business, we believe that documenting our experience in the swine and pork trading business can be incredibly beneficiary for others in the industry. Whether you're a prospective entrepreneur or already active in the field, sharing our insights from our operations in Indang, Cavite can offer valuable lessons. By learning from our journey, we hope to help others streamline their processes and boost profitability in their own ventures.
Nature of the project.
Mr. Emmanuel M. Asor, Aaron Luel D. Croencia, and I, Junel Kit M. Ayos, an agricultural entrepreneurship students at Cavite State University, launched a hog trading venture in Indang, Cavite as part of our enterprise development project for the 2023 to 2024 academic year. Focused on sourcing fresh pork from the local backyard hog riser, the project served as both a revenue stream and a practical learning experience for us. Success was evaluated based on the return on investment, operational efficiency, managerial performance, and problem-solving capabilities.
Description of the project.
The hog trading business will be financed and managed by us, the student entrepreneurs. It will be part of the June's hog trading business, which is already in existence, and the project objectives will be to find and establish business relationship with the backyard farms that can supply quality hogs suited to the requirements of the business. We are responsible for all the activities involved in finding new suppliers, transacting with customers, and monitoring the profitability of the business. If backyard raisers will be tough for supply, canvassing of stocks, transportation, processing, marketing, monitoring, and report preparation. The business clients are the meat retailers at the Indang public market so that the business will not engage in the processing of meat into cuts but instead only sell whole, half, or one-fourth carcasses.
Objective of the project. Establish the value chain of swine and pork from backyard raisers to retailers. 1. Determine the profitability of the swine and pork trading business. 2. Identify problems along the business processes and make possible recommendations to address them. And 3. Acquire necessary knowledge and skills in the development and management of enterprise activities. Description of the project. Project location.
All the enterprise's activities take place within the municipality Indang, CAVITE. The hogs for slaughter are sourced from barangays Banabalejos, Bunacherca, and Matas na Lupa. The slaughterhouse is located at Barangay Poblacion 4, and the meats are sold at Indang Public Market also in Barangay Poblacion 4. The project's center of operations is the residence of Mr. Junuel Ayos, one of the entrepreneurs, located in BGY. Alulod, Indang, Cavite. It is where all the planning of operations, record-keeping, project monitoring, preparation of the enterprise's documents, and report preparation take place. Business operations. The enterprise activities are grouped into three: the pre-operations activities, the actual business operations, and the administrative processes. Pre-operations activities. These activities are those that have to be done before the start of the actual business activities. Acquisition of business permit and sanitary permit.
It possesses permits from the Business Permits and Licensing Office and Municipal Health Office. To account operational expense, including permit usage, a total of 47,380 pesos was paid for permits valid for 12 months. As a project operated for 3 months, January to March, only 16,082.50 was paid for permit usage during the first quarter of 2024.
Identification of retailers. June's hog trading business already has client retailers. For the sake of the project, 10 retailers were selected to be its customers. The retailers were then visited in the public market to offer the new arrangement. It was agreed that the retailers would coordinate with us for both their orders and payments. They were also informed that the meat they would receive is from backyard raisers but are the same quality as those from commercial farms.
Arrangement of transportation. A jeepney and L300 van were contracted as on-call transportation providers. They will be used to transport the hogs from the backyard raisers in the barangay to the slaughterhouse in Indang at Poblacion 4. A monthly payment arrangement was agreed. The amount will depend on the number of times hired and the distance of the source barangays. The agreed cost is based on a matrix. Per kilometer, usually cost of transportation is roughly 400 to 650 per trip.
Actual business operations. The enterprise takes on the role of the consolidator and trader, dressed hogs, and retailer. The activities include consolidation of the hogs and transportation to the slaughterhouse, overseeing the slaughter, and marketing to the retailers and/or processors, makers of processed meat, e.g. longaniza, tocino, burger patties, lumpia, etc., and selling to consumers.
Consolidation. The consolidation process starts with the retailers placing orders for the next market day, specifying whole carcasses, halves, or quarters. Orders must be received and summarized at least 12 hours before pickup to allow time for procurement from farmers' producer. Saturday demands are usually double those of the Wednesdays due to weekend market preferences.
Transportation. The enterprise rents either a jeepney or an L300 van to transport the hogs from the farms to the slaughterhouse, depending on the number of hogs to be picked up. A jeepney can carry 15 hogs, while a van can accommodate up to 10 heads.
Transporting the hogs from the farms to the slaughterhouse always happen in the morning, from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. to avoid subjecting them to heat stress. Before loading, the hogs are inspected individually for checking the quality. The hog should be healthy, have never had any diseases, be at least 4 months old, and weigh around 65 to 110 kilos. These requirements are already pre-discussed with the supplier before pickup, but are still checked to ensure the quality of livestock.
During loading, The hogs are weighed individually as the basis for payment. On average, 9 heads are collected per week with an average weight per head of 85 kilograms. The price per kilo varies per week but ranges from 170 pesos to 210 pesos per kilo. The farm gate price is determined by the farm owner. Payment is given after all the hogs are loaded into the truck. There are some cases that the payment of method is through bank transfer. The hogs are then transported to Indang Municipal Abattoir or Slaughterhouse for dressing. The cost of fouling is not factored in the agreement for the farm gate price. Barangay Banabacerca, where some hogs are sourced, is roughly 6.4 kilometers from the municipal abattoir, while Barangay Bunacerca and Barangay Mataas na Lupa, where the other piggeries are located, are 3.2 and 6.3 kilometers from the slaughterhouse, respectively. The business earns enough to absorb the transportation cost, and the arrangement also helps maintain its good relationship with their producers.
Dressing. Upon arrival at the slaughterhouse, the hogs are kept in a holding pen and are subjected to fasting while waiting to be slaughtered. Fasting is needed to lessen residue, enhance pork quality, and animal welfare. The management of the slaughterhouse handles the schedules, but the enterprise option is to be last in the line, as an additional strategy to keep meat fresher for the following day. In most cases, the hogs are already slaughtered by 10 to 11 p.m. The project does not have to pay for the use of the facility because it's already included in the cost of business permit, while the slaughter fees are already shouldered by the retailers. As for the butchers, they get the innards for the slaughter hogs as payment and sell it to the innards retailer for the profit. Every hog yields around 4 to 5 kilos of innards, which can be sold at 70 per kilo.
After dressing, one of the butchers from slaughterhouse transports the carcass to the public market located only 25 meters away for delivery to stalls of the retailers. Before distribution, the carcasses are weighed at the public market's Timbangang Bayan to get the accurate weight of the meat delivered per stall and to monitor the difference between the live and dressed weight of the hogs. The carcasses distributed are attached with piece of paper containing the name of the retailer, the total weight of the carcass, and the price per kilo, which usually range from 260 pesos to 280 pesos. Because the carcasses are only sold whole, in half, or one-fourth, the retailers do the fabrication or the preparation of carcass into cuts. In many cases, the carcasses are placed on the stalls even without the retailers to receive them. Security has never been an issue because other stall owners are already in the public market the night before market day.
Average of 9 hogs are disposed per week. The hog disposed every Saturdays are almost double the volume of disposed every Wednesday. More households do their purchasing of weekly food supply every Saturday because of the busy work schedule during weekdays. Meat is collected at lunchtime during market day because most of the retailers have already sold their products by then. The majority of transactions, the stall owners are able to give complete payment for the meat delivered. In few cases where only partial payment is received, the retailers are required to give the complete amount on the following market day.
Last but not the least is the retailing. Our enterprise ventured into selling cuts during our last weeks to test the profitability of engaging in retail. Because this is just a trial run, smaller hogs weighing 6,800 kilos were used. Once a week for 3 weeks, we bought one hog and slaughtered and prepared its meat for retail. The hogs were bought from Cathay Farm in Tanza, CAVITE, and were transported to Alulod, INDANG, CAVITE, where one of the entrepreneurs resided for fasting until it is slaughtered in the following day at around 4:30 a.m. Once dead, the innards are removed and the carcass is split into different parts: shoulder and arm belly, loin, ham, spare ribs and head, and then weighed separately. Afterward came the cutting of the portions into retail cuts, lomo, pork chop, kasam, liempo, etc., which were then delivered to the buyers. Because this is just a trial run, the customers are mostly the neighbors and personal acquaintances of the entrepreneurs. Weight of hogs before and after fabrication. It shows the live and carcass weight of the hogs and the weight of the cuts after fabrication. The average dressing percentage, carcass weight, ours live weight, for the 3 hogs is 83.98%. The ham shoulder yields the most meat as it makes up more than 40% of the weight of the carcass. Administrative processes. These are the activities involved in the record-keeping and generation of the project's financial statements, such as income statement, cash flow, inflow, outflow, and non-cash record. Record-keeping. The details of the project's transactions, date, volume, cost, and payment arrangement, with the supplier of HOGS, transportation providers, and retailers, are automatically recorded in the project's computer file for security, accuracy, and faster generation of the project's financial statements. Generation of the project's financial statements. The project has a monthly cash flow to gauge the profitability of its operations. Enterprise management. Although the team attends to the activities collectively, it was arranged that someone should handle a specific area of operation not only to ensure equal participation, but more importantly, to make sure that all the activities are carefully looked into individually. The arrangement by which the team agreed to work is as follows. Mr. Ios for canvassing and marketing, Mr. Asor for pickup, transportation, and slaughter of the hogs, and Mr. Crencia for bookkeeping and preparation of financial reports. The group meets once a week to evaluate how the enterprise is going, address problems if there are any, plan the next activities, and monitor the accuracy and completeness of the records. Financial analysis.
Sa buying of hogs o pamimili ng baboy ay in-indicate namin monthly. Sa February, gumastos kami ng 741,774.46. Sa March, 540,929.46. Sa April, meron kaming 483,169.64. At ang huli, ang May, 235,407.41 na may total cost of 1,990,355. Meanwhile, sa ating other expenses, ang depreciated cost ng ating permit ay umabot ng 16,082.50 and labor cost 2,729.44. While sa transportation ay umabot ng 8,250 and lastly, carbonized receipt na nagkakalaga ng 120 pesos. Overall, ang total cost ng production ay 2,017,631.50 pesos. Sa ating total sales ay nakahati din ito monthly. Sa February, meron tayong sales na 817,071 pesos. Sa March, 601,674.50 pesos. Sa April, meron tayong sales na 507,444. At ang huli, ang May, 276,304 pesos. Na may total sales na 2,202,493.50 pesos. Sa ating break-even price ay meron tayong 245.30 pesos sa isang kilo ng baboy. Meanwhile, sa ating break-even production or volume, meron tayong 7,336.84 kg and generated a net income of 184,957. With that said, we have 9.17% for our return on investment.
Challenges, solutions, and insights. Challenges and solutions. Big starting capital. The business started with P2 40,000 capital, and the amount is quite big for a startup enterprise. The hog growers have to be paid upon pickup of the hogs, thus, the big initial investment. The amount is recovered fast or within the next 36 hours because the retailers pay for their deliveries on the afternoon of the market day. The entrepreneurs split the required capital equally among them to generate the initial investment. Fluctuating farm gate price. The farm gate price varies by as much as P40 per kilo every week, affecting the accuracy of the estimated weekly capital requirement. This also makes the process of transacting with the producers less predictable. Insights. Trading is less risky than production.
Because swine production lasts for more or less 5 months, the chances of having business problems like disease infestation or sudden increase in the cost of inputs are also higher. Trading only exposes the U.S. to a shorter period of vulnerability. when the hogs are bought from the farmer producers up to when the retailers have paid for them, which only lasts for less than 36 hours. However, although less risky, the barrier to entry to the trading business is that the entrepreneur has to have huge capital because the farmer producers have to be paid once the hogs are loaded for transport. The entrepreneur also has to have a ready market, retailers, for the slaughtered hogs, which means competing with the other traders who already have established partnerships with the market vendors. Competition with imported pork is tough. The government imports frozen meat to meet local demand. It's cheaper than locally produced meat, and budget-conscious customers often prefer it despite not being fresh. The need for a network of producers. Running a meat supply business necessitates an entrepreneur to maintain a network of farmer producers for a steady supply. Competition from other traders is possible, so having a diverse network of producers is crucial. Fair pricing and competitiveness are key to maintaining this network. Need to maintain a steady meat supply even if profits are affected. The business's continuity relies on its relationships with retailers. Fluctuations in farm gate prices must be absorbed as retailers need profit to sustain operations. Implementing a fixed percentage margin may deter customers due to price differences. Income will fluctuate, sometimes exceeding break-even costs and other times just meeting them. Retail can be explored. More income can be realized if the business explores selling to final consumers or processors, instead of focusing only on selling whole carcasses to retailers. Although this expansion may incur additional expenses such as stall rental and staff hiring, profit margins will likely increase as products can be acquired at lower rates. Alternatively, the business can opt for direct household delivery, utilizing online promotion and order taking via social media or text messages. While this approach substitutes rental costs with transportation expenses and vehicle maintenance, it also eliminates the need for stall management manpower, replaced by hiring a delivery rider or the entrepreneur themselves. This pre-order delivery model reduces risk, as all prepared meat already has confirmed buyers.
Future plans. Being new entrepreneur, the more feasible option is to continue and expand the retail business. The enterprise requires lesser capital and less competition because the target market are neighbors and personal acquaintances. It also believes that more people are starting to prefer more home deliveries because rather than personally going to the market, it affords them more time to do their things. Starting a home delivery meat business, only 25,000 pesos is needed as initial capital. It will cover the cost of hogs, transportation expenses, and labor cost. Unlike the trial run in our enterprise development project where only one hog was slaughtered per week, the planned continuation of the business will dispose 2 hogs a week for larger transaction volume. After a month of regular operation, the business can be evaluated to decide if the business will be formalized into official enterprise with a business permit and other legal requirements. The backyard farms where the wholesale trading business gets its hogs will be also the source of the hogs for the retail business. Recommendations. For new entrepreneurs who also want to engage in the meat trading business, the better option is to engage in retail. The entrepreneur can get one hog from backyard raisers and sell the cuts directly to consumers. The enterprise offers higher ROI but requires small capital. The initial experience will teach the entrepreneur the more subtle details of the meat trading business before he or she ventures into higher transaction volume. It will also give the entrepreneur more time to expand his supply and market base, which will be used for the enterprise when it ventures into bigger transaction. First, it helps a lot if the entrepreneur knows a few of the common practices not usually known among new entrepreneurs but the common practices among the more experienced hog growers and traders. One prime example of such practices is a simple trick of evaluating whether the hogs for sale have thicker fat or muscle. Among experienced traders, during farm visits, the entrepreneur just poked the hogs in the back to make educated assumption about the constitution of the hog's meat. Hogs with more meat or muscles jerk or make sudden actions when poked. If none or minimal reaction was observed, the hog has more fat than meat. The farmer's finger will also sink or the skin will feel very soft if the hog has more fat instead of muscle or meat. Other field strategies can be learned as the entrepreneur ventures further in the business provided he or she is willing to ask more seasoned traders and farmers. In terms of schedule, the ideal harvest schedule is from March to May and during the holiday season of the Burr months. March to May is the fiesta season in the municipality of Indang, and the demand for pork during Christmas and New Year has always been high. Higher demand always means higher market prices in the meat business. It also helps to remember that the price of the pork shoots up during heat season because growers have to spend more for water and labor because they have to give the hogs regular baths to avoid losing them to heat stroke. More enterprising traders or retailers can also look into the pork value chain for more options. Growing hogs for trading and processing meat for higher value means more challenges, but they also offer more income generating opportunities.
Nais po naming pasalamatan ang lahat ng tumulong at sumuporta upang magtagumpay sa aming Entrepreneurial Development Project. Maraming salamat po sa aming advisor, Guillermo P. Desengaño, Technical Critic, Noriel B. Bergonio, EDP Coordinator, Jefferson M. Mojica, sa Municipal of Indang at sa Indang Slaughterhouse, sa kanilang staff at sa kanilang mga workers. Maraming salamat din po sa KFINAR, Department of Agricultural Entrepreneurship, sa lahat ng backyard racer ng Indang, pork retailers ng Indang, sa aming kaibigan at mga pamilya, at syempre sa Diyos.